The City of Kelowna is actively engaging the community in the development of a plan for the Civic Block area of downtown. At a recent workshop, members of the public, local landowners, business owners, and interest groups joined city employees and expert consultants to work on a set of principles that will guide the design of the area. Participants pored over maps and engaged in a lively discussion about the needs and opportunities for the Civic Block. Recognizing that not everyone can participate in the workshop, a few participants shared their experience in the process in this report to the community.
Our group is very diverse, but our opinions are actually very similar. We're all interested in making our civic block very family-friendly, incorporating green space, moving mobility corridors so that people can move in pedestrian corridors and on foot through the community. So we're all very similar in what we want, even though we come from diverse backgrounds.
Okay, I live in the civic block, in the narrow strip that's used for residential uses. And I've lived here for 8 years. I've walked the city block every day. So I had some ideas about it. I want to think of the downtown also as a resident community. So that not just a place for visiting and cultural activities, but also for those services and community type of facilities that would make it possible to foster a vibrant living community downtown.
My involvement with the Civic Block is I'm the RCMP's Crime Prevention Supervisor. What I look at the Civic Block in terms of our plans for development is where there's opportunities to invest in the crime prevention through environmental design principles. That's where I would have input in the design.
I think the biggest reservation would be that not enough attention would be paid to a long-term plan that really engaged, because I know it's expensive to develop things well. It costs money. There are inexpensive ways to do things, but often the long-term expense is intimidating. My fear would be that things might be done too quickly and too simply and leave away the bigger opportunities. So keeping the big plan in mind to me is really important, and that's what this certainly is about at the moment.
Reservations would be around focusing on using city property for commercial development, densifying the built environment downtown as opposed to maximizing green space, which comes at a cost.
We've talked about culture, but I think we've talked about what is it to be a part of Kelowna, what are we known for, and what do we support. And so we're trying to provide strategic direction on what kind of feeling that people experience when they come to our community, to our civic and our cultural corridor, and what types of industries we'd really like to see supported.
So then there are people at the table where I am that are from the arts community, from the culture community, from the civic community, from the business community. Everybody has particular interests to represent, but once we get talking, you find out that the business person may have something very profound as a perception about cultural life, and the cultural person may have something very profound about business life and how it might relate to the use of the property.
Well, in areas such as the civic precinct that we're dealing with here, really you only get one chance at developing a design that will stand the test of time, as it were. So really designing for the community's needs 20 or 30 years down the road, it's quite important to get it done right at the start. Doing a redo is not necessarily an option, and it would be very expensive to do so.